Didn't just become Muslim. Somebody made an effort and it came to us. So we shouldn't forget those people, the chain through which it came to us. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلًّا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And also don't put in our heart any hatred, any negative feelings for any believer. So this is an amazing dua. So this is very, very important that our hearts should be very clean, because this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at our hearts, and He gives us more when our hearts are good and they're clean. He gives us more blessings from Himself. So this is an amazing dua. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prays, this is actually about the muhajirin. وَالَّذِينَ تَبَوَّأُوا الدَّارَ وَالْإِيمَانَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ. About the Ansar. That's about the Ansar. That when the people came from Mecca, they left their homes, they came to Medina. The people in Medina welcomed them with open arms, kept them in their homes, shared their property, and they welcomed those people who were coming without home, homeless people from Mecca, and helped them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising this. You see, they love these people who are coming towards them. And you see, sometimes the Prophet was giving these muhajirin, he was not given to the Ansar, and they didn't feel bad about this. So yeah, go ahead and give it to them. They're more needy than us. It was an amazing brotherhood that they had. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is even praising that brotherhood. You see, وَلَا يَجْفِي صُدُورُ حَاجَةً مِمَّا أُوتُوا وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. And they give to the others even though they need it. And there's an amazing story where somebody came to the Prophet ﷺ, he was hungry, and the Prophet ﷺ said, who can take him home and feed him? So one Ansari, he said, he didn't even know what was at his home. So he said, I'll do it. He doesn't know what's at home. So he goes and he asks his wife. She said, there's only food for the kids. That's it, very little food. So he said, okay, well, put the kids to sleep. Just tell them stories and put them to sleep. Either put the kids to sleep. Then what happened, he's sitting with him. So he put the light, he started adjusting the lamp, and he put the lamp on. You see, he's just a healer. He put the lamp on. So when the lamp is up, he doesn't know if he's eating, or he let him eat the food because there's very little. And then next day, this verse came to the Prophet. Because maybe the Prophet doesn't know, but Allah knows. And Allah told the Prophet, that's what he did. It's great. So these people used to yusari'una fil khairat. They used to run to good deeds. You see, we have to think about it. Oh my God, should we do it? Should we not do it? We think like 100 times. You see, they say, well, Abu Bakr, why is he? Have you ever thought about it? Why is Abu Bakr the number one Muslim out of all the believers, even before Umar? We always speak about Umar. We talk about Umar. We don't even realize that Abu Bakr is the foremost after the prophets. You see, why is that? Did you ask yourself? Because he was always running to good deeds. He was always trying to do good. And he was very quiet about it, so we don't know what he did, because he was always so quiet about it. But he's the one chosen by Allah to be with the Prophet at the time of Hijrah. Nobody else was chosen. Him. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose him as great azaz, great ajr for him. You see, then the Prophet ﷺ said, everybody thought about Islam when I presented Islam to them, except Abu Bakr. He didn't even think about it. He said, yes, I'm a Muslim. So he was just an order. When he used to see good, he was like really quick in deciding. He wasn't like slow in deciding. You see, so he was, that looks good, okay, I'm a Muslim. He was really quick in deciding. Once the Prophet ﷺ said, who has fasted today? So it was not to be proud, it's just the Prophet asked the question. So nobody had fasted except Abu Bakr raised his hand. He said, I'm fasting. He said, who gave sadaqah today? Nobody raised their hand. And Abu Bakr said, I give some sadaqah today. He didn't want to tell it, but the Prophet is asking. He said, who visited a poor person today? Then again, so it's like every question, Abu Bakr is visiting, he said, somebody was sick and I went to. So that's why he was so the Abu Umar said, I stopped competing with him. I could not compete with him anymore. You see, I called him Sabbaq. Sabbaq is someone who's just really fast. He's too fast for me. You know, when Umar brought half of his belongings in the Battle of Tabuk, the Prophet didn't ask, how much did you bring? He asked him, what did you leave at your home? He said, nothing. I just brought everything. You see, he had to get it out of there. He wouldn't say that. What did you leave? Because it was not very much. He said, well, I just brought everything. You know, subhanAllah. So it was an amazing attitude, you see, which made him number one, propelled him to the first position in Islam. And there's a beautiful story where the Prophet ﷺ and Aisha were looking at the stars together. So she said, is anybody's good deeds equal to the stars? The Prophet ﷺ said, Umar. So, you know, women, but what about my father? You see, what about my father? Then the Prophet ﷺ smiled. He said his one night deeds are equal to the stars. And that's when he was in the cave with the Prophet ﷺ. ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the word. The second of the two who was in the ghar, in the cave, is يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن. He said to his friend, don't worry. Because Abu Bakr was worried for the Prophet. Because what was between the Prophet and the kuffar? It was a spider's web. It was a spider's web. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused a little bird, came and laid down a couple of eggs, little eggs. So they said, wait a minute, he couldn't be here. Look, there's a spider's web. And there's like this nest. They would never have put the eggs there if there was somebody inside that cave. So they're like right outside. You see, subhanAllah. And Allah saved. And who was with him? Abu Bakr. And as you know, the snake or whatever, the insect bit him. You see, but he protected the Prophet. He was worried for the Prophet. La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana. And the Prophet said, Allah is with us. Don't worry. Don't worry about this. You see. So it's an amazing story of belief, of faith, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to inshallah and get out of this great field.